Hi there everyone, and welcome back to one of my culinary wellness videos. My name is Nikki Windsor. I'm a health and nutrition coach, helping you identify eating habits and lifestyle behaviours to support gut health and improve your overall well-being. So I was going to talk about bitters this week, but something happened, so I've changed up the subject because yesterday I tore my calf muscle. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about what you do when an injury happens and kind of the lessons that it teaches us. So I exercise early every morning. I generally do a HIIT workout, like high intensity interval training. And for the past couple of weeks, my left calf muscle has been really tight. So I've been conscious of it, and I've been changing my routine to allow for it. So I've been reducing the high impact exercises. I've been taking them out, so like running on the spot, I've been doing high knees instead, and just to reduce impact on my calf because I could feel it wasn't right, and I increased the amount of stretching that I was doing. Well, yesterday I was doing some skipping. I was trying it out. I was very conscious of it, saying, right, take it very gently, which I was doing, see how it feels because my calf had been tight. It's feeling a bit better, but stay gentle on it. Just keep it gentle. 10 seconds later, I hear a snap and I hit the floor. My leg had just gone from underneath me and I had intense pain in the middle of my calf. So there were a few choice words, and injury. Now it turns out I've torn my calf muscle, and the doctor reckons it will be, up to about 6 weeks recovery time. So what do you do with an injury like this? Well, the first thing to do is represented by an acronym called RICE. Rest, ice, compression and elevate. So I'm elevating my leg here. I've just iced it. I'm not using compression at the moment. I don't feel the need for it, but all of the other three I'm doing. Now some people use P in that RICE acronym, which refers to pain management. And again, I avoid pain medication unless I really need to take it. And other than most of yesterday, my pain has subsided now. So normally the first 48 hours, that's what you need to be doing, regularly icing it. Now the icing is reducing inflammation. Now, yes, you can take anti-inflammatory drugs, but it's important to remember that inflammation is an important process in the body that aids recovery. So that inflammation in the area is actually sending lots of things to the area to promote healing. So you don't want to suppress inflammation totally. So be aware of what anti-inflammatories you're taking. Like I'm taking fish oil, I'm taking turmeric. So I need to think about how much of that I'm going to be taking. I'm not taking any medications. It's mainly it's what's in my diet, which should be okay. So I don't want to suppress the inflammation. Once the first couple of days have gone by, then it's about using that muscle. If you don't use it, then you rest too much, then you are at risk of blood clots. There needs to be some activity. That muscle needs to know what it should be doing, but in a gentle and controlled way. So if you go online, you'll find plenty of resources for exercises depending on the injury that you have. So I'm going to be resting again today, but tomorrow I'll start doing some of those exercises. So then when you're into that recovery, it's also about nutrition, because nutrition plays a role in recovery, but it also plays a role in energy management. So I average 14,000 steps a day. I have 2 dogs. I have to take them out at least twice a day. So having taken all of that out of my routine now, I need to be conscious that I don't take in more calories than I'm burning. Otherwise, I'm going to put on weight, and I don't want to put on weight. But I don't want to reduce them so much that it impacts the healing process, because the healing process requires energy. So it's about finding a balance that I'm not eating too many that I'm putting on weight, but I'm eating enough over my normal bodily requirements so that there's energy to go into the healing process. Then it's around, what am I eating? Is there anything I can be eating that will help improve recovery? So protein. Protein is the building block for growth and repair. But it's getting good protein sources. In plant-based protein, that's beans, lentils, legumes. It's eating tofu, tempeh. Luckily, I just made a fresh batch of tempeh. But quinoa, a lot of pseudo grains, oats. There's a particular, so what we're getting from the protein is amino acids. Now, there's 9 essential amino acids that we cannot create ourselves, so we need to take it in from the food. And there's one in particular, leucine, which plays a role in the muscular system. It promotes wound healing, muscle growth, and muscle recovery. So high leucine foods are salmon, brown rice, soy, grass-fed beef, nuts, eggs, chickpeas. So I'm going to increase the amount of that in my diet to help promote that recovery. Now, the important thing to know with proteins is that these 9 proteins that we need to get from our food are all in animal-based protein. So they're considered a complete protein. In plant-based protein, most plant-based proteins don't have all 9. They're not a complete protein. So you need to eat a variety of them throughout the day to make sure that you're getting all 9 of those essential amino acids. So that's like, you know, the injury, the recovery. But then there's the mental side of things. You know, all of a sudden, I've just been stopped in my tracks. So I'm thinking about, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. I can't drive anywhere. I can't take the dogs out for a walk. So it's that mental side of things of practicing patience, because I can't move quickly. I have to rest. Really taking my time and asking and receiving help. That's not something that comes easily to me. For those of you who know me, I'm a very independent person. But I'm having to, you know, I can't take my dogs out for a walk. So luckily I have good neighbours who have offered to take my dogs out. So it's, and you know, I can't do some of the things around the house. Or maybe I can, but I should be rested. So it's that switch again of saying, right, okay, yeah, I do need to stop. I do need to accept some help. And I'm fortunate enough and grateful that I've got people around me who will help and support me. So if you're having an injury, if you have any sort of injury, then do bear in mind these three major things. You know, on the physical side, it's about rest. It's about reducing inflammation, but not too much. It's about looking at your nutrition to make sure that you're not eating so many calories that you will put on weight, but not that you're reducing it too much that it impacts your recovery, and that you're eating the right foods to support wound healing. And then on that mental side, you know, a bit of acceptance and patience and graciously receiving help. All right, well, I hope you have an injury-free week, and I'll be back next week on the topic of bitters, which is all about the value of bitters to our health. Have a great week, and I'll catch you next time.